What is going on, man, our nation? Welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, the home for live, raw, uncut NFL coverage. I'm glad you're rolling with us today. My name's Shay, and I'm ready to take you on a journey. Let's jump right into it. Before we do that, I want you to head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you'll find exclusive merch, fresh blogs, and everything happening with the show. If you're rocking with Man Hour, that's the spot to rep it. Make sure you like, share, and hit subscribe so you never miss a show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged in with us. Do you want the full experience? Go ahead, become a Pigskin Pundit, our members-only community. You'll get free entry into NFL weekly pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merch, and bonus live streams only for the pundits. If you're all about that next-level access, join the squad. And remember, y'all, this is a live, interactive show. Drop your thoughts, opinions, and hot takes down below in the comments. We want to hear from you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've had a great week. I hope you have. I hope you have. I hope you have. I know I have. It's been a long week, but it's been a good week. Today was what we like to call an e-learning day here where I work in Indiana. We got some places 3 inches, some places 6 inches of snow. We're getting frigid cold weather tomorrow and into Sunday. And so today I got to kick back on the PC here, do Zoom calls with the kiddos, and now we get to sit down together, enjoy a Friday evening, and talk ball. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here with you guys. I just want to remind you, it's a live, interactive show, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at youtube.com/man hour. With that being live and interactive, I want to encourage y'all, drop your comments. Let me know that you're here. Let me know what you think. And let's talk ball, baby. Let's talk ball. So let's jump right in because tonight we got a lot to talk about. We're talking about the Buccaneers. We're talking about Joe Shiesty. We're talking about these coaches that are sitting in some hot seats. Guys, we got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. I want to take you to the first place we're going, where the plank is walked. The Buccaneers are done. Look, if you're still clinging to hope that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the NFC South, I need you to let go. Let go of the rope, because after last night's absolute disaster against Atlanta, blowing a 14-point fourth-quarter lead to a 5-9 team, I'm calling it. The Bucs are done. The Bucs are done, y'all. This is not a team that started the year 5-1. This is not the same team, that started the year 5-1. This is a shipwreck. This is a disaster. This is an implosion from the inside out. They've lost the past 5 of their past 6 games, and they just gave up control of the division. Where do we start? Where do we even begin with all this? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Let's look at the coaching. Let's go with the coaching. This collapse falls squarely on the coaches, the offensive, defensive coordinators. I want to talk first of Todd Bowles. Now, I'm tired of hearing the excuses, y'all. Baker's been banged up. Oh, he didn't have Mike Evans. Oh, he didn't have McMillan. Oh, they don't have this. Forget about that. Forget about it. All right? We need to sit down and talk about coaching, because the coaching is killing the Bucs right now. Here's the deal. His defensive unit is getting gashed by explosive plays every single week. It's not just a one-week kind of thing. No, every single week. Last night, with the entire season on the line, they allowed Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Banks, to have one of his best games ever. They let Kyle Pitts run wild with 11 catches, 166 yards, and 3 tutties. The same Kyle Pitts, whom I called a bust on the show last night, may very well prove me wrong, but we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about that later. Right now, I want to talk about Todd Bowles, because this dude's going to make a couple appearances on our show tonight, because he's on a hot seat. These same mistakes happen every single week. Poor coverage, missed assignments, and most egregious error of all, you done had 12 men on the field on the Falcons' final game-winning drive. 12 men on the field. How can't you count 12 men on the field? Todd Bowles, you're in big trouble, dog. You cannot make a mistake like that in a high school game, let alone a must-win NFL game. Todd Bowles has lost the players. He has lost the plot. He has lost the team. Get him out of Tampa. But he's not the only reason the Bucs have lost the division. He's not the only reason that the Bucs are done. So let's talk a little more deeply. And this is going to ruffle some feathers. Heck, it took some time for me to write this because I didn't know if I agreed with myself. But we need to look at the offensive side of things. And it starts, Yes, do I dare say it? It starts with the quarterback, whom I love watching play football, Baker Mayfield. He was playing MVP level football earlier this season, and now he is struggling significantly. Yes, I get it. The offensive line is injured. I get it. But mistakes are glaring. Mayfield threw a glaring and crucial interception in the fourth quarter that led directly to the Falcons closing the gap. This offense, even with Mike Evans, even with Chris Godwin healthy, and even with Bucky Irving back on the field, they failed to score a game-winning touchdown. You got Bucky Irving. You got Cade Otton. You got Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin. You got McMillan. I mean, you got all these dudes, and you still can't make it happen. They couldn't convert. They couldn't run the clock, and they couldn't get out of their own way. The early season magic is gone, and what is left is inconsistent offense that really can't finish. I hate to see it this way because Baker's a dog. But watching him yesterday, it was apparent. There are balls getting away from him. He's spending way too much time with the ball in his hands. He can't be mobile every game and expect to have longevity in the league. Father Time is going to catch up. These massive linemen are going to catch up. And Baker and this offense is in deep trouble. And why are the Bucs done? Let me get you one more to really just settle you in and tell you why the Bucs are done. And here's the bottom line. They don't control their own destiny. They are now sitting at 500. They are sitting at 7-7 and half a game behind the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, y'all trashed me on for the Packers losing to. Those Panthers are now leading the division. They're leading the division. And what does the remaining schedule look like? Glad you asked. They have to play the Panthers twice in 3 weeks, who down the stretch have been playing really good ball. You have to win on the road against a motivated divisional rival and then beat them again at home. Do I trust this shell-shocked Buccaneers team? Absolutely not. I don't trust the same team that just choked away a 14-point lead at home to the 5-9 Falcons. I don't. To beat the Panthers twice? Nope. The resilience is gone, the consistency is gone, and y'all, the division lead is gone. The Buccaneers are dead in the water, and unless Todd Bowles can somehow conjure a miracle comeback, he'll be walking a plank after this season. Chat. This collapse is total. This collapse is total. Let me ask you, do you think Todd Bowles survives this year? Go ahead, hit me in the comments. Use the hashtag BowlesWalks. I want to hear your takes. Are the Bucs done? Is Todd Bowles out? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember, subscribe, hit that like button, and remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.com/Man Hour. Go ahead, join the live conversation. It's an interactive show. I want to hear from you. Are the Buccaneers done? Is Todd Bowles done? Let me hear from you. All right. So, we're not just talking about how Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles and the Bucs are imploding. We're talking about something else today. We are talking about something else today. And here it is. We need to talk about this man right here. This man right here. That dude is a bad dude. That dude right there, he goes by the name of Mike freaking Evans. And he's a dog. He's a menace. All right? And we've established the Buccaneers are done. We've already got that out of the way. The coaching is pathetic. The team is a sinking ship. But there is one absolute legend on the team who deserves better. There's one absolute legend on this team who deserves a clean escape. And there is one absolute legend who deserves a chance to chase the title. And his name is Mike Evans. And he needs to get the heck out of Tampa Bay. Let's jump on it. Let's talk about it. Let's dive right in. Why? Well, first of all, you're wasting the prime of a legendary wide receiver. You say, Shay, slow the brakes down. Like, why are you calling Mike Evans a legendary wide receiver? Let's go back to last night, all right? Look at what happened Thursday night, all right? The Buccaneers are collapsing. The division is lost, and Mike Evans, he's been fresh off an injury, remember? Yeah, he comes out. He drops 132 yards on 6 catches, y'all. 6 catches, 132 yards. Do the math. A 45-yard deep ball. Whoo! That's Mike Evans reminding the world he's still one of the best wide receivers walking on the freaking planet. He's an NFL legend. He holds the record for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons to start a career. Come on now. He signed an extension to stay with this team through thick and thin, and how does the team repay him? By surrounding him with a coaching staff that blows a 14-point lead to the Atlanta Falcons. This is criminal. This is football malpractice. You cannot let a football Hall of Fame player waste the final years of his elite prime watching his defensive coordinator give away games with a 12-man on the field penalty. Come on now. Mike Evans was frustrated last night, and it was evident. If you watched the game at all towards the fourth quarter, the camera kept finding its way to the face of Mike Evans, to the frustration of Mike Evans, to the yelling. The proof is in the pudding. Can somebody please help my dude, Mike Evans, get out of Tampa Bay? The second thing is the contract and the future of the Bucs and Mike Evans. So let's sit down. Let's talk business. Let's talk business for all you business majors out there, for all y'all that want to talk about the cap space and the hits and the guaranteed. Let's talk about it. Because Mike Evans, yes, he's signed through 2025, but this team needs a full rebuild. They need a new head coach, they need a new identity, and they need to find their long-term quarterback. Because here's the deal. I love Baker. He's a dog. He gets things done, but he ain't long-term. He ain't long-term, guys. Let's just call it what it is. Baker's getting up there in age. He is not long-term. So, if the Buccaneers keep Evans, they're tying up to $25.3 million in cap space next year for a team that is going nowhere, okay? That money needs to be used to build a new franchise to fix a defense that is fundamentally broken. And what better, more logical move is it, even though it's painful, to trade Mike Evans? Tampa Bay needs to look at themselves in the mirror. They need to take an inward look and be honest with Evans. Give him the respect he deserves. Find a contender, a team like, dare I say it, the Chiefs, a team like the Bills, a team like the Ravens that is one elite receiver away from a Super Bowl. Go get some capital for him to one of those teams. They will pay a premium. The trade return will be a first or second round pick is the jump start the Buccaneers need for that rebuild. Go do it. And on the flip side of that, give the man something. Because y'all ain't done nothing except give him injuries and 1,000-yard seasons and still nothing. Nothing. Gosh, thank goodness for Tom Brady, or else Mike Evans wouldn't even have a ring. Here's the deal. Point 3. This is ultimately disrespectful to this man. Disrespectful to this man. Mike Evans is a Buck for life in his heart, but right now staying in Tampa is an insult to this man's career. Team is not good. The coaching is not good. The atmosphere is toxic at best. The Buccaneers got to do the right thing by their franchise icon. They got to cut the cord. They got to sever ties. Trade my boy Mike Evans this offseason. Thank him, give him a handshake, and thank him for the memories, and let him go chase that ring he absolutely deserves. Oh, not that ring, the second ring, because he got one with Brady. If they keep him, they're delaying the rebuild, and they're disrespecting this man. Spit in his face, why don't you? Let my boy Mike Evans go. The best gift the Bucs can do is a ticket out of Tampa for Mike Evans. I want to know what you think, though, chat. Hit me in the comments, because I'm sitting here going, free Mike Evans. Because here's the deal. I see 3 teams, realistically, that'd be willing to trade for this dude. At number 1, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, pair Mike Evans with Patty Mahomes, with Xavier Worthy, with Rashee Rice. I'm not going to count Travis Kelce because I think he may retire this year. Pair him with Isaiah Pacheco and a good defense. Dude. Keep running it up, Chiefs Dynasty. Second team, realistically, that I think Mike Evans could go to, the Baltimore Ravens. I was telling my wife a couple weeks ago, I said the Ravens ain't got the firepower that Lamar needs to succeed and get a Super Bowl. They just don't. They got Zay Flowers. They got a geriatric Mark Andrews, and that's about it. Okay? We said, hey, they got Rashad Bateman. Sure, they do when he's healthy. Send that man to the Ravens. Get some draft capital and watch Lamar and Henry go get a ring. Watch Mike go get his second. And then the third, boy, it's appealing. It is appealing, and that third team is the Buffalo Bills. Pair him with the likes of Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid. I think Amari Cooper, is he still out there? James Cook, Josh freaking Allen, and that Bills defense, whoo, it's going to be much watch football. But I want to hear from you, chat. Do you think Mike Evans is gone? Do you think he's gone? Because I do. I think he needs to get the heck out of there. But right now, I want you to subscribe, hit the like button. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.com/man hour. Go ahead, join the conversation. It's a live interactive show. So let me know in the comments below that you're here, that you're rocking with us. And let me know, do you think Mike Evans needs to get the heck out of Tampa Bay? Mike Evans. Mike Evans out of Tampa Bay. Wouldn't that be something, though? We got to get that dude out of Tampa. All right. Let's move on to our next segment. And I know we got retirement up there, but we're going to talk about Joe Burrow. Joe Shiesty retiring. That ain't going to happen today. Nope, we're not talking about that today. All right, here we go. Let's jump into it. My boy Joe Cole is burning out, and it's clear and it's evident. I've been tough on the teams tonight. I've talked about the Bucs. We talked about the Eagles earlier this week, but the biggest story, is this slow motion tragedy that's happening right now in Cincy. Joe Burrow, the franchise savior, the guy with the $275 million contract, is sending a massive flare up in the sky that says, I need out. Forget the trade rumors for a moment. This one is about one thing, sustainability and the dude's happiness. Let's talk about it. This reeks, oddly, of a man that I enjoyed watching for a few years in Indianapolis who goes by the name of Andrew Luck. Go ahead and listen to what Joe Burrow said this week after another disastrous Bengals loss. Go listen to it. He says, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? Folks, guys, ladies and gents, when somebody at the age of 29, a top 3 quarterback in the league, starts talking like that, you and me should be terrified. This is Andrew Luck manifesto. Luck walked away from the game in his prime because the toll, the physical pain, the constant rehab, and the emotional grind of carrying a dysfunctional team on his back, and it was too great. A time we will never forget, a retirement speech in the freaking preseason. A presser that had everyone in the NFL and in Indy scratching their heads and up in arms, and now we're seeing it happen with Burrow. My boy Joe Shiesty. Shiesty has missed 9 games this year with grade 3 turf toe. He had a torn ligament in 2023, a calf issue in 2024, and ACL as his rookie. I mean, the dude's been banged up. And yet he still produces. Yet he still puts his team in places to win. The Bengals organization, despite their money and despite their talent, have failed, dare I say, and I will say it, failed to protect Joe Burrow. His body is breaking down. His mind is breaking down. And we're watching it happen in slow motion. The physical and mental toll of carrying this team is breaking Joe Burrow. And the Bengals have done nothing to stop it. Nothing to stop it. Second thing, that boy Zach Taylor that y'all wanted to hype up, that boy Zach Taylor that Cincinnati said, oh, he's going to be the one. He's going to help us. Nah, dog. He's stagnant, stale. He ain't moving. This is where the blame needs to be. Zach Taylor, yes, he took them to a Super Bowl. Wow. But what have they done since? And you know what? They didn't win that Super Bowl. That boy Matt Stafford did. He may go win one this year. They've been a disappointment since then. The offense is inconsistent. The defense has been flat dog water. The team is now 4-9. They are in line for the 3rd straight season of disappointment. Cincinnati fans, I'm sorry. Here's the deal. How in the world can we expect Joe Burrow to have fun when he returns from intense rehab, way ahead of schedule, proving his competitive fire, only to watch his team get outcoached, outplayed, and losing games, even when the offense puts up huge points. You can't. You can't. You can't expect that man to stay. This organization is forcing him to risk his long-term health, and they are not rewarding that with sacrifice or wins. Zach Taylor needs to be fired, and if he isn't, Burrow's going to force his way out. You heard it here first at Man Hour. If Zach Taylor is not fired, Burrow's finding a new home. He's not going to tolerate another wasted season, and I don't blame him. We saw the very same thing with Marvin Lewis, who could always put teams in position in the postseason pushes, but when it came down to the stretch in the playoffs, he never could get them over that hump. And if you're a Bengals fan, this has been your reality and a sad curse you've had to live with for nearly a decade now. A decade. So here's another thing. There's contract leverage. There is. A lot of people say, whoa, Shay. Hold up. He can't leave. He signed that monster extension. You're right, dog. But let's look at it with the fine print. Let's look at it with this little glass on going, all right, let's see what we got. Burrow is fully guaranteed through the 2025 season, but after 2026, that guaranteed money, poof, it disappears. If Burrow comes in 2026 offseason and says, yo, I'm done, I'm retiring, I'm playing for a team that can protect me, the Bengals got to choose. Should we risk him retiring and get nothing but a massive dead cap hit? Could. Or do we trade him for a king's ransom, multiple first-round picks to a team he chooses to play for, like, dare I say, the Vikings or the Jets, who are desperate for a franchise quarterback? And as a Packers fan, please don't send Joe Burrow to the Vikings. Because if you pair Joe Burrow with the offensive line that the Vikings are going to build up, with a running back like Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, with receivers like Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, whew, daggone, don't do it. But Cincinnati has reached the turning point. They have. The organization has to choose. Do we keep Zach Taylor or do we fire him and commit to protecting Burrow? Or do we lose the franchise, hope the greatest player in the team history, Joe Burrow, would stay? Nah. Here's the deal, y'all. Joe Shiesty is tired of carrying the Bengals, and he's preparing that exit strategy. So, I want to hear from you, chat. Do you think Joe Burrow is serious about leaving? Subscribe, hit that like button, and let me tell you that we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at youtube.com/man hour. Go ahead, join the conversation. It's a live interactive show. I want to know. I want to hear from you. How's your Friday going? Do you think Joe Burrow's leaving Cincy? Let me hear it, ladies and gentlemen, from you. Do we think Joe Shiesty is retiring? I don't. But do I think he's leaving that team? Yeah, 100%. 100%, dog. And I really hope it's not with the Vikes, because I don't want to deal with that. I do not want to deal with that. Let's move on to our next segment here, Man Hour. We're going to talk about the coaches that are on the hottest seat this freaking season. We talked about the collapse of the Bucs and who's responsible for these disasters. It's the coaches. And today we're going to talk about these three men and how the heat isn't just on, it's absolute inferno. These coaches are in freaking trouble. So I want to start with my third. Coming in at number 3, an older gentleman, a gentleman of the people, a gentleman that Mr. Peebles, I don't know if you like or dislike. And he goes by the name of Pete Carroll for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm putting the veteran up there. I'm putting the legend up there at number 3. Pete freaking Carroll. Carroll was brought in less than a year ago. And in that time where he was supposed to stabilize the Raiders, it's been chaos. It's been freaking chaos. The team is 2-10. Their offense is bottom 3 in the league. And he's already had to fire his offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly. Whew, this team is completely lost. They're out in the middle of nowhere, flying around, going, what the heck are we doing? And when you bring a 74-year-old coach out of retirement and he immediately hires a controversial OC who gets canned midseason, that's a failure in leadership. And it points right back to Pete Carroll. The Raiders are further away from winning than they were before he arrived. And here's the deal. If you're a Raiders fan, you know that the ownership does not tolerate mediocrity. Whew. And this is far worse than mediocre, y'all. Carroll is facing a legitimate chance of being a one-and-done head coach in Las Vegas. I know. We could pump the brakes. We could slow down and say, Shay, they ain't got a quarterback because they got Geno Smith. Don't care. Do not care. We could say their defense is lackluster. Yeah, they got Max Crosby. I do not care. However, we need to understand that a coach with a resume like Pete freaking Carroll should and will be held to higher standards. Be on the lookout because here's the deal. Pete Carroll, as he may be finding his way out of Vegas in the foreseeable future. I think Pete Carroll's on the hot seat. I think he is on his way out. And, I mean, I don't know if it's the right decision, but you got to have somebody to sacrifice, and that's who they're going to sacrifice. Pete Carroll, goodbye. My second coach on the coaching hot seat this season is none other than the man, the myth, the legend we saw screw his own team last night. The man, the myth, the legend we saw blow a 14-point lead last night. He goes by the name of Todd Bowles. That's right, Todd Bowles of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team has lost 5 of its past 6 games. They've blown massive freaking leads, and the defense miscues are his responsibility. Allowing 12 men on the field on a game-winning drive? Come on, that's not player mistake. That's an indictment of the coach and the culture. When you lose to a team, I think the Falcons had 20-something penalties, y'all. When you lose to a team like that, that's not solely on the players. That falls on the coaching and the staff and how you're prepping this team. And guess what? Y'all didn't prep them for nothing. Y'all didn't prep them for nothing, and it showed. Bowles had a chance to seize the NFC South and prove his worth, and he's choked it away. And his post-game press conference was laced with profanity because he knows it's inexcusable. The fact is, if the Bucs miss the playoffs, which is now very, very likely, I told you earlier in the segment in the show, they will. The ownership cannot justify keeping this head coach who oversees a 5-game collapse and is outcoached by every single person he faces every single week. Bowles is on freaking life support. And my number one. My number one coach that is on the hot seat. It may surprise some of y'all. It may not. But he resides in Cleveland, and he goes by the name of Kevin Stefanski. Here's the deal. He's a 2-time Coach of the Year. Sure, but the numbers are horrific. He has only got 6 wins in the last 30 games. And we can say, oh, he's with the Browns. Can it? It's a freaking NFL team, dog. And currently, he has a record well below 500. He inherited one quarterback mess with Deshaun Watson, yes. And now he's navigating another rookie quarterback and a defense with an MVP caliber talent, and they ain't finding ways to win. The reality is that Stefanski's bet on Deshaun Watson regimen has completely failed. Now the organization is going to be looking for a complete overhaul. The ownership is ready to clean house. The question is, do you trust the coach who oversees a major collapse to lead the next era? That goes by this man's name right here, Kevin Stefanski. No, you don't. Stefanski's an offensive coach, and his offense is consistently sucking. They're consistently trash. The fact that the star players like Myles Garrett are already rumored to be looking for an exit shows that the culture is broken. Stefanski's going to be the first domino to fall on the coaching firings. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my top 3 coaches that are on the hot seat, but I want to hear from you. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Should Nick Sirianni be on that list after Eagles' 3 straight losses? I want to know. So in the comment section below, let me know which coach do you think is on the hottest of seats this year to lose their job or go to a different team. But don't forget, subscribe, hit that like button, and remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/man hour. Go ahead, join that conversation. This is a live, interactive show, baby. All right. Well, this next part of the show is one that I really, really enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. And it is not buy or sell. It is not fact or crap. It is something here at Man Hour that we like to call overreaction. All right, here's what overreaction is. For those of you who haven't seen this segment before, let me break it down for you. Here's the deal, baby. I'm going to throw out a hot take. I'm going to throw out a bold statement, maybe an intense reaction to something going on in the NFL world. And then we're going to dive in and we're going to decide, is this an overreaction or is it actually spot on? So, if we think it's overreaction, we're going to call it out. We're going to say, yo, slow it down, Shay. That's a little too much. It's about dialing it back, seeing things with a bit more perspective. But if we think it's legit, if we think it's real, we're going to agree and we're going to roll with it. But I want to hear from you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right in to our overreactions here on Friday night on December 12th of 2025. And the first one is about this dude right here. And it's that Kirk Bangs. Kirk Cousins is going to get paid again. And here's the deal. That dude's gonna get paid. Kirk Cousins is about to get paid again, baby. I'm not overreacting. Here's why. The market at quarterback is starving right now. And Kirk Cousins is really the only reliable option. Look at the landscape. The Falcons are almost certain to release him because he has a massive $57.5 million cap hit next year. And they got Michael Penix Jr. waiting to get healthy and be the leader. So Cousins going to be a free agency. Who else is available? Maybe geriatric Aaron Rodgers. Maybe an injured or coming off an injury Daniel Jones. And then there's teams that are maybe just a quarterback away from really succeeding, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, that would be a reunion, by the way. Or even the Vegas Raiders, who are desperate. And Cousins just proved in a primetime clutch situation, which he usually sucks at, that he can still be the guy who throws for 373 and 3 tutties. Oh, and did I mention he led a comeback in the fourth quarter by 14 points. He can be an excellent 2 to 3 year bridge starter for a playoff caliber team. Now here's the caveat. You ready? The price tag. He's turning 38. He's coming off of 2 seasons that included an Achilles tear and several high interception games, and teams are going to be able to remember that. He's not going to get $40 or $40 million a year again, but he's going to get a contract in the range of 2 years, 65 or $45 million guaranteed. That's a massive payday for a 38-year-old quarterback, y'all. And it's less than $100 million, but it's still a king's ransom that only Kirk Cousins seems to earn. So, you tell me. You think that boy Kirko's getting paid again? Do you think Kirk Cousins is getting paid again? Tell me in the comments below. The next overreaction that I want to have, and I wish Maximus was in here. I was beefing back and forth with Maximus last night as I was watching the stream. We was talking about this man right here, Kyle Pitts. And I was so high on Kyle Pitts when he come out of the draft. I was like, dude, I want the Green Bay Packers to go get Kyle Pitts. Like, he's a dog. He's an animal. And I've watched him every single year not live up to that. He was being compared to people like Travis Kelce, like Gronkowski, like Gonzalez, all these crazy good tight ends, and he's not done anything. But last night he proved me wrong. Because last night he became the first tight end since Shannon Sharp in 96 to have 150-plus yards and 3 tutties in a single freaking game. Just let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. 3 touchdowns, 150. Nah, kidding. 166 on 11 receptions. We're talking about a performance that rivals all-time greats. That's not just a bust. That's not just not a bust. That's a player who was operating on elite game-changing levels. It's crazy. He didn't just have one good game. This was a culmination. Look at his last 3 games. 90 yards, 82 yards, and now 166 yards. He's tallied his most receiving yards in a season at, yes, it's just 797 since his rookie year. And he's still got 3 games left, ladies and gentlemen. So here I am, man, hour. Here I am talking about Kyle Pitts, and while I was wrong, he is not a bust. I called him a bust, but he was being misused. He was running 5-yard out routes and blocking on 3rd downs. He was being let down by a revolving door of quarterbacks, questionable scheme concepts. He was a Ferrari, just being driven around in the parking lot. Now, with Kirk Cousins leading the Falcons, it forced him to be used as a primary target due to injuries. And dog, he's being unleashed as a vertical threat and a matchup nightmare he was drafted to be. But here's the caveat. Here's the caveat, because we always got to have a caveat. We got to have consistency, because this was Pitt's first 100-yard game since his rookie season in 2021. We're in 2025. For him to truly shed that bust label for me and earn the generational label, he's got to maintain this. He is in a contract year. If he finishes the last 3 games strong and eclipses 1,000 yards, this dog's going to get paid like a top 3 tight end, and I will eat my words and declare him a success. But for now, man, I take this reality. Kyle Pitts has proven the doubters wrong, including myself, and if you own him in fantasy, congratulations, you've already won. You've already won. But I want to hear from you. Drop your comments in the section below. Do you think I'm overreacting, or is Kyle Pitts going to be all right? And my last overreaction here tonight is this. It's about this man, J.J. McCarthy, who I was hoping would be so much better than what he is right now. I've told y'all before, I'm a sports card collector. And I have quite a few of nice J.J. McCarthy cards that I was ready to send in and be graded. And the man's just been sucking. And I was like, well, daggone it. But here's the deal. Here's my overreaction for J.J. freaking McCarthy. It's that J.J. McCarthy is going to torch the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. I'm not talking about clean, surgical Dak Prescott performance. Nah, I'm talking about a rookie awakening. I'm talking about the Minnesota Vikings hanging 30 on the Cowboys. And here's why. Everybody needs to wake up and look at the actual numbers. The Dallas Cowboys defense is fake sauce. Buck can hate me for saying that, but they're fake. They are 29th in the NFL in yards allowed per game. They are 31st in the NFL in points allowed per game, and they give up nearly 28.5 points a freaking outing. That is the worst defense in the league, y'all. Their top-tier offense being sabotaged by utterly abysmal defensive unit. They just gave up 44 points to the Lions last week. Yes, we can talk about how the Lions are so good, blah, blah, blah. This is a defense that is miserably and mentally, structurally unsound, broken, and physically tired. They are. And they're always on the field. They're not built to stop anything, let alone a motivated rookie like J.J. McCarthy. He's having a little bit of McCarthy momentum shift. He had his best game last week against the Commanders for 163 yards, 3 tutties, and 0 picks. And it wasn't about raw volume. It was about clean execution and confidence. It was about keeping the ball on your side of the field, not turning it over. He finally let go of the mental mistakes and trusted those elite receivers. And head coach Kevin O'Connell is finally taking the training wheels off this dude and letting him play his strengths the way he needs to. Now he goes from playing the Commanders' defense to playing the Cowboys unit that is statistically worse. This is the best perfect defense for a rookie to build on his momentum. They don't blitz often. They play this soft coverage. And guess what? They let you execute a game plan. But let's not forget about the last factor to J.J. McCarthy torching the Cowboys this week. He's got this guy. This guy who's a generational talent when we talk about it. This guy who has shocked the NFL world, who's got kids doing this dance called the gritty. This man, Justin Jefferson, who's a cheat code. With the Cowboys secondary being a total liability and Swiss cheese, allowing massive passing yardage all year, Jefferson is going off. McCarthy don't have to be perfect. He just has to give Jefferson a shot. All right? The Cowboys don't have a corner who can hang with him, and their safeties are slow to rotate. Vikings are going to run the ball effectively with Aaron Jones, forcing Dallas to commit to the run. And guess what? Boom. Beautiful pass to Jefferson. Long touchdown, changing the narrative of the season. Boys, the Cowboys are desperate, and their defense will betray them. McCarthy is going to build on last week's confidence, and he's going to expose the biggest fraud in the NFC. Vikings upset the Cowboys 33-30. Woo! 33-30. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Vikings? What do you think about JJ? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe. Hit that like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/manhour. What up, Jen Smith? He says Burrow should go to the Steelers. Jen, we talked about Burrow at the beginning of the show, and that was one of the places I said that he could possibly go. The Steelers, the Jets or the Vikings, I think would be a fantastic fit for Joe Burrow. They're kind of in that position where they're quarterback hungry and they're waiting for a good guy in the draft. Honestly, this year the quarterbacks are not very deep in the draft, and so Burrow will be a 2 or 3 year option, maybe 2 to 5. Or if he ends up continuing to, if he ends up flipping the narrative and staying healthy, maybe you could keep him for 8, 9 years. So I'd like to see Burrow in Pittsburgh. I would. I think they could be deadly in Pittsburgh with Joe Burrow. I do. But it's time for a little segment we here at Man Hour like to call Fact or Crap. So let's get ready to jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of our show, and it's time to wrap things up with our favorite segment called Fact or Crap. And with that said, I'm going to throw out some so-called facts making the rounds in the NFL world, and you got to tell me, is that hot garbage or is it the real deal? So let's jump right into it. Let's cut through the bull, and let's talk about what we find as fact or crap. We're going to start first with this year and the scheduling. I want to throw this out to you, Man Hour. This is the most intriguing and unknown playoff race we have seen in years. This take, it's about a competitive balance. Are we historically compelling playoff race? Are we in that? Let's talk about it. I think it's a fact, dog. I think it's a fact. And here's the picture. The FC has an 8-5 Texans team sitting at the 7th seed, while the 6-7 Chiefs are scrambling around for their freaking lives. Who would have predicted Patty Mahomes would be outside the picture in December? Who? The Ravens and the Chiefs are drowning while the Bills and Chargers are surging. It's an inverted, chaotic freaking mess. The NFC, pure anarchy. You got the NFC South, which is a dumpster fire that's still up for grabs between the Bucs and the Panthers. You got the NFC North in a dogfight between the Packers, the Bears, and the Lions. You got the Eagles, a Super Bowl contender, are now fighting for their lives against a surging 49ers team and Seahawks team. And usually by week 15, we know 4 or 5, 7 seeds. 4 or 5 of the 7 seeds. This year, we might not know 3 of the wild cards until the final whistle of week 18. This is pure, unadulterated, wonderful chaos. It's a fact, dog. It's a fact, dog. It's crazy. I want to hear from you, though. Do you think this is the craziest playoff schedule, the craziest, most unknown playoff race we've seen in years? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know in the comment section below. Is that fact or is that crap? The second take I want to run at you, fact or crap, is this guy right here, JD5. And the fact I want to throw at y'all is this: Jaden Daniels is going to be another RG3. Whew. That's crap. Let's call it what it is. That's crap. I get the fear. You got a dual threat quarterback, former number 2 overall pick, Heisman winner who's taking hard hits and accumulating injuries. The parallels are kind of spooky, but this is a load of crap. Why? Well, the difference is processing and a passing ability. RG3, after his rookie season, failed to develop as a pocket passer, and then the running was taken away. He was exposed. JD5, he's built different, dog. And analysts agree he is far more advanced and nuanced passer than RG3 was. He goes through his progressions, he protects the ball better, and he only runs when the play is truly broken down. While the injuries this season are a massive concern, the reason he will survive is his quarterback IQ and his refined mechanics. The organization needs to do better protecting him, sure, but Daniel's actual skill set is more sustainable than RG3's ever was. This, my friends, is a load of crap. What do you think? You think that's fact or you think that's crap? I want to hear from you. And take number 3 as we close the show tonight. Mellow Mike's going to wish he was here, because it's going to be about the one and only Houston freaking Texans. And it's this: the Texans will make a deep run in the playoffs. That's a fact, baby. That's a fact, but only because of one thing. The Texans are in the playoffs because the Colts lost Daniel Jones. Call it what it is. They're going to win the AFC South. That gives them an automatic home game. But here's why the deep run is plausible. It's because they got this killer freaking defense, dog. Woo! Texans have one of the best defenses in the AFC right now. They dominated the Chiefs. They forced Patrick Mahomes 3 interceptions. Their defensive line, anchored by Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, is lethal. And his defense is built to win in January. Physical, fast, and forcing turnovers. They are currently projected to play the New England Patriots. They're projected to play the New England Patriots, and while the Patriots are strong, Texans defense can hold any team to a low score. In the playoffs, defense travels and defense wins. If their offense can manage just 17 to 20 points a game, that defense will drag them to the divisional round and maybe even to the AFC Championship. They're the dark horse, so I got to call it a fact. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you before we get out of here, because that's it. That's it for the show tonight. That's it for Fact or Crap. We got Tim Reynolds. Tim Reynolds, welcome to the show. He says this year a lot of teams have been contenders this year in the 2025 NFL season. They have. And we've had a lot of pretenders too, Tim. We've had a lot of pretenders too. But, Man Our Nation, it's been great hanging with y'all tonight. And I just want to take this time now and tell y'all to have a great weekend. I want to tell y'all to enjoy yourself and to know this before we get out of here. Hear me out. Chicago Bears will lose out, okay? The Chiefs are not making the playoffs. The Eagles are not making the playoffs. And the Green Bay Packers are going to the bowl. Thanks for hanging with me tonight, y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed night. We'll see you later.